Guys, got another breakdown for UFC Vegas 39. This one's going to be Charles Rosa taking on Damon Jackson. Two veterans at featherweight. Jackson's going to have 4-inch reach advantage, so I'll start with Jackson. Second stint with the UFC. First time, his only loss was to Yancy Medeiros, I believe, but ends up getting cut and spends a lot of time with LFA, picks up a ton of submissions. Takes one loss with LFA to Kevin Aguilar. Common opponent between the two. Charles Rosa beat Kevin Aguilar. But yeah, Kevin Aguilar, good boxer. Knocked him out bad though. All three of Damon Jackson's knockouts are pretty bad. That one was bad. It's just the way he gets knocked out. It's brutal. He gets knocked out cold. But yeah, Kevin Aguilar is a good boxer, especially when he's looking to counter. I was very, very disappointed with his UFC run. I thought he was going to be way better than he was, but just never really evolved. But yeah, before he got to the UFC, he looked good. So that wasn't a bad loss at the time, and I still don't think it is because all things considered. But yeah, he gets knocked out by Kevin Aguilar. I think it's a ton of submissions. Gets knocked out badly again by Mavlid Kovaliev. I know I just slaughtered that name, but when I'm not prepping with some of these names, I get them wrong. But yeah, he gets knocked out bad in that one. Just jumping knee, splits the guard. But then he bounces back, another submission, and then he fights Mirsad Bektic on short notice. Gets dominated in the first two rounds. Had a nice guillotine attempt in the second round, but ended up just spending most of the fight up until the third round, just getting out grappled. And then he manages to get an awesome guillotine choke against Bektic. I felt so bad for Bektic because he looked good and just let it get away from him. But it was a really solid, gutsy win from Damon Jackson. And then he gets fed to Ilya Taporia. Just kind of sucks for him. And Taporia came in with a striking heavy game plan in that one. Ended up getting him out of there that way. Looked really good. Kind of unexpected. Just went to the body a lot. And then was able to just set up a solid overhand counter. Knocked him out cold. Again, another bad knockout. So the chin with Damon Jackson gives people some worry. But I don't think it's going to be a problem against Charles Rosa. Charles Rosa, his striking is weird. It's not terrible. He can kind of like go even with people, but I do think that Damon Jackson's going to have a slight volume output in this one, and I think if he can get inside, that's his best bet because he's not afraid to trade with people, and it's good to see that he comes out aggressive after he's been knocked out cold because sometimes a guy gets knocked out cold, they come in a little gun shy their next fight. So he's been there. He seems focused. I've watched interviews with him. I'm not worried about him coming in after that brutal knockout against Taporia and just being scared. So I expect him to try to get inside. And like I said, I like the volume. And for Charles Rosa, he's got a long win one lose one streak going here, but coming off a win against Justin James, which I picked Justin James in that one of my shittier picks. I don't know what I saw in Justin James, but yeah, Rosa, just like I said, he just kind of matched James's output a little bit more, and he got countered. He gets countered pretty easily, but he was just able to outvolume him. Striking wise, he uses a lot of kicks, switches stances a lot, but yeah, there's just it's a weird style. It's like he doesn't look like he's doing well, but he does manage to win fights. But beat Kevin Aguilar before that, and then just got out grappled big time by Derek Minner, who is a pretty good grappler, and he's a very aggressive grappler, be it ground or pound or submission. I think, I mean, I don't want to say he's underrated because he kind of shits the bed sometimes, but I don't know. I've always thought that Derek Minner is pretty competitive. But yeah, he just gets out grappled big time in that one. And Rosa's a BJJ black belt, but he kind of suffers from that. Sometimes he is content to just stay on his back, and you just see fighters give up rounds doing that. Like Lewis Smolka comes to mind, and yeah, it's like Rosa's got good submission threat at least, but he just spends too much time trying to do that instead of getting up, and then he just loses rounds. So I do worry about that. But yeah, then he got out grappled by Bryce Mitchell just got dominated. I mean, it's going to happen, but it was just pure domination. So it's weird because Rosa's got a BJJ black belt. He's comfortable on the ground. Like he doesn't get submitted easily. He's tough to put away, but yeah, it's weird. He's been getting dominated on the ground, albeit against good wrestlers. So I do think that Damon Jackson's gonna try to get this fight to the ground. He seems keen on doing that, and this is a tough fight to pick. My first lean was Charles Rosa, just because it's a very even fight. I would normally stay away from this one from a betting perspective on any other week, but there's just no value in this card, so I dug in deep on this one, and I changed my mind. I do like Damon Jackson to win, and it's tricky. It's not the most comfortable pick in the world, but Jackson has definitely swelled to a bit bigger favorite than he was initially. But the props aren't bad. I do like Damon Jackson by points. He's gonna threaten submissions, but I do just think he's gonna outvolume him on the feet. Um, Jackson's got good counters, not a ton of power. Like neither one of these guys really leaps off the page on the feet, but I just think Jackson's gonna be able to do a little bit more. He's not afraid to get in these exchanges, and if he's not gonna get knocked out in them, I think he's just gonna, land more. Charles Rosa has upped the output a little bit in those last few fights, but he kind of extends these combinations a little too far, gets clipped, and I don't think Damon Jackson's got knockout power really either. But yeah, it's just I really do think it's just going to come down to Jackson might slightly out volume him on the feet, win that way, and then also I'm curious to see how the grappling goes in this one. Damon Jackson, like I said, good grappler. I like the way he applies the ground game to an MMA fight. And yeah, like Rosa just has this problem where he just kind of accepts bad position, but it's kind of tricky. Like this is going to be the big decider in this fight, and it could go either way, but yeah, Rosa has not looked good on the ground when he's gone up against good grapplers. It's just like how good of a grappler is Damon Jackson compared to Derek Benner, who's pretty big and aggressive, and then Bryce Mitchell, who's just one of the best grapplers on the roster. Um, it's tough to say, but I do think Damon Jackson is going to be good enough to just at least edge out some positions on the ground. He's got to be careful of getting submitted himself, but he's only been submitted one time, and it was by Yancy Medeiros, so not bad. And yeah, I think that Damon Jackson's just gonna edge this one out. So I do like Damon Jackson by points. I am gonna bet that. And yeah, I mean the money line isn't bad. It was a lot better earlier on though, but yeah, I mean it's a coin toss. There's not a ton of value on this card. So I hope I'm not trying to force stuff. But yeah, I do like Damon Jackson. I'd say he wins this fight about 60% of the time. And the value could be a little better, but I do like the prop. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe and take it easy.